Where do you belong, Daryl? Out there in the river? Looking for your dead brother day after day after day? Or do you belong with the family you left? Because it was too hard to face what happened? Or do you belong here with me?
I don't know. I should have been there. I could have helped her.
Do you think she's still alive?
I don't know.
Welcome to NocBro Nation.
Welcome back, guys. Daryl here.
And I'm Josh, and today we're here to talk about Leah and where is she after the last weekend's episode of The Walking Dead. Very interesting character. Obviously, Daryl's love interest that, very rarely does he get a love interest, but where is Leah?
Yeah, guys. Episode 18 was absolutely amazing.
Yeah, another episode where I am just blown away.
Yeah.
Like, they're doing really awesome on this.
Really good. And just the storytelling and just how you saw the relationship with him and her, where he, at the end, he decided he was going to leave the group. And it took him a while, but he chose her.
He was going to give up on his search for Rick.
Right. And what was great, though, is that in that scene where she was really pissed off at him, saying, are you going back to the group? She mentioned the group, probably Alexandria, and then, searching for Rick, or do you want to be here with me? And you could see the struggle. He was basically crying. You don't see Daryl cry very often, but you could see his eyes watering because at that time he didn't know where he wanted to be. And that's how I loved it later on in the episode when he had that very heart-to-heart with Carol saying, you were trying to run. I know where I need to be. It's
Which is cool how they did that, because
Yeah.
it was, Carol speaking to Daryl, trying to get him to realize where he needs to be.
Right.
And then it was the other way around in present time with Daryl to Carol. Like, it was awesome.
Right.
What I love the most about this episode was the developing of the relationship between Daryl and Leah.
Oh, yeah.
That was awesome.
It was
little,
sweet.
Little comedy thrown in there. Like, these two, you could tell, are just made for each other.
Yeah.
And they really hit home with that, and I loved that. And it makes you want to, like, believe even more about our video here. Where is Leah, and is Daryl going to find her?
Yeah. So, at the end of the episode, or actually before we got to the present timeline, he goes back to the cabin, sees that it's kind of in distress. There wasn't any blood or anything anywhere. The dog was only there, basically. So she either had to leave, she got attacked, she ran away, or she just, kind of what Carol said, maybe she just left. And it's, for first, that pissed off Daryl, but she was like, I'm not making an accusation. I'm just saying maybe she just decided to leave.
My whole thing about that whole finding the cabin, and I mentioned this as in the reaction, was like, wouldn't you think that as good as of a tracker as Daryl is, that he would know exactly where that cabin is?
Where the area that he was in. Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah.
And like, he came upon that cabin like he didn't know yet.
Like he
until
forgot.
he saw the spikes.
Yeah.
Or whatever. Come on.
Yeah, I mean, maybe he tried to kind of block it out of his mind to forget because it was a very painful moment for him. But so yeah, guys, where is she? We're hoping that she's still alive, and we're wondering if maybe this could be a focal point of the Daryl Carol spinoff. And actually, it was Josh who mentioned this right before we started our recording, and it's perfect.
Yeah, I see. We know there's going to be a Daryl and Carol spinoff, but what causes Daryl and Carol, we always wondered, to leave the group, because it appears that's what's going to happen in their spinoff. And we talked about this originally, that they've always used the line, well, there's always New Mexico.
Right.
But what if it's not necessarily just New Mexico? What if the reason for them leaving is they find a clue that Leah's alive and thriving, and they need to go find her.
Yeah.
And Carol's there to help Daryl find her.
I think it would be fitting because, they're going to be, with these 6 episodes, we're going to see Daryl and Carol in another episode again. So they're going to hash more things out. And then we're going to get the final season. They're going to have a lot of time to deal with hashing things out. And then whatever decision they make to go off on their own adventure, maybe part of that is okay, Daryl, let's go try and search for Leah. I get everything that you've gone through. I understand it now. We're good. Let's go try to find
You know
her.
what would be amazing if the reason why Leah left is because she wanted to take on what Daryl couldn't finish, and that is finding Rick. What if she decided for Daryl to go and find Rick? She obviously Daryl would have told everything there is to know about Rick, right? So now Daryl's leaving with Carol to knock out two things.
Yeah.
Looking for Leah, but not knowing he's going to find Rick as well.
Well, the interesting thing though is that of course when Daryl was explaining, to Leah who was missing, and he said his brother. And I wonder if really Leah doesn't know the full details about who Rick is.
I think she does.
I agree.
It would
with you.
be
I
great
hope she
because,
does.
like, if we're talking about, let's say our theory is true, and
Yeah.
Daryl and Carol are going to look for Leah, it would suck because then that would take away what we've always wanted, which was the reunion between Daryl and Rick.
Right.
It would take away from that.
Unless they do it at the end of season 11. Unless they bring Rick back at the end of season 11 for the
True.
final season.
True.
But then it would suck again where, okay, you're reunited with your brother, your best friend, and then you go off with Carol.
Exactly.
Not to say that they're not going to return. It's kind of like they just want to go off together and search for Leah in a sense or something. But I get what you're saying. I don't know if she would go out and look for Rick, because that was the reason that she was upset. She was tired of him, because Daryl told her, I'm trying to find my brother and I'm not going to stop, right? So Leah was good with that for a while.
Yeah.
And
Until
then-
their relationship developed.
Until their relationship developed, and she was tired of him going off for days on end, because in this world, you have no idea if he's going to come back. He may get killed, and she's going to be left wondering. So that put a damper on the relationship, because she was kind of done with him, kind of saying, you just need to move on. Stay here with me. But knowing Daryl, he's not going to want to stay in that little cabin forever, but he did decide he wanted to. But
or did someone decide Leah was an A or a B and take her?
CRM connection, huh? I don't know. Yeah. I don't know. I mean, we really hope that she's not dead. I
don't think she
from
is.
the look of the cabin, it didn't seem that way. Yes, there were things thrown around, but maybe it was an old enemy or something of
That is
Leah's
a great story to have.
to keep hold of. Yeah.
To keep hold of. Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Why give that up?
Yeah.
We finally get to see Daryl care for someone other than Rick and his people. They're gonna hang on to that.
Yeah. We don't want AMC to introduce amazing characters to then never hear from them again. They have a bad history of doing that throughout these shows, but this is one that they have to hold on to. Now, I'm sure there's fans out there that, because of their love for Daryl and Carol, they always want a relationship, or even Connie, they're like, okay, we don't want Leah to come back because what about Connie?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Well,
Look,
but you got to think about him and Connie's relationship. Sorry.
no, you're good.
Why do you think Daryl's kind of passive with, kind of, I wouldn't say passive, but he's kind of pushing things back with Connie a little bit. He cares for her, but he's never made that move to say, hey, I want to start something. Because I think of what happened with Leah, he's probably going to be very scared to have a relationship with anybody. Not saying that because he's going to go out and look for Rick again. It's just because of who Daryl is and how he feels about himself, to maybe not be able to make it work.
Well, he knows that she's still out there.
Yeah, and he's going to still look for her too.
And that's why he didn't do. Look, I certainly would have loved to have the Connie and Daryl relationship.
Oh, for sure.
Absolutely.
I still want it, but
no,
not anymore.
Leah ruined that. Like that episode, just forget about Connie. I'm sorry, but forget about Connie. And the people that still want Daryl and Carol to happen, we need to stop, because
It's never going to happen.
never going to happen, and nor should it, right? Like
their relationship was never that way.
No.
They poked fun at each other. I remember Carol saying, you want to mess around, fool around a little bit.
Yeah.
But that was just her poking fun. They have a very deep, intimate relationship, but it's not a romantic relationship.
Yeah.
Those two have been through a lot, from when Carol, the loss of, her husband, her kids, just everything. And Daryl's always been there to be a shoulder to cry on, and they've become really attached, but it's never been romantic.
Yeah.
And we've always known that. So the whole Daryl Carol romantic thing, no.
Well,
won't ever
Carol's
happen.
lucky to be here after season 1.
Yes. Yes. From her comic book
wait.
source material
Season
story. Yeah, her comic book source material story. And from what we've heard, they were planning on killing her a long time ago as well in the show. And they, of course, didn't happen. But yeah, so.
But yeah, I mean, I really hope that this is the case. It would be awesome if the whole, Daryl and Carol spinoff is centered around finding Leah.
The whole thing or maybe part of it?
Gosh, you'd have to make it the central figure of that.
Why they leave?
Yeah. Obviously, you could spawn off different stories, and we don't know much about this spinoff. How long is it going to last?
Yeah, we won't for a while.
We don't know.
Yeah. I get, yeah, that makes sense. I mean, have it be his search to find Leah, and then, of course, during his journey, depending how far they have to go, they're going to throw in other stuff to, little roadblocks, getting attacked by other groups or coming upon other groups. But
searching for Leah opens up what a lot of people always want in The Walking Dead, and that is not to stay in one place and to be constantly out in the wild looking and searching.
Right.
And I think that's what a lot of people, at least the people that I've talked to with regards to the show, love that more than them just sitting in Alexandria.
True. I mean, yeah, I don't like them sitting in Alexandria either. I love when they're on the road, dealing with the dangers of the walkers, which are starting to dwindle a little bit. We're starting to get that point where there's not a lot of walkers around, because I'd say a lot of them in that area were destroyed with the Horde. They had a lot. But yeah, I mean, once again, we would love to see Leah. We hope she's alive. I think that could be, like Josh said, a focal point for the spinoff, and I think it could really work. Yeah,
absolutely. I mean, you don't get a strong character like Leah dying easily.
No. She's been out there for so long, and of course, with everything that she's been dealing with, and she finally finds a companion in Daryl, and
she's a female version of Daryl.
She is. Yeah, she is. She can track really well, she can hunt, and she's resourceful.
Yeah.
Boom. That's why they got along so well. So let us know what you think in the comments. Do you think Leah is the perfect relationship source for Daryl? Do you think that she is going to be is she technically the first character in the spinoff other than Daryl and Carol that they're going for? So let us know what you think in the comments. Like the video, subscribe, and stay tuned for more. I'm Jarrell.
I'm Josh.
We're NocBro Nation.
We're out.